Okay, yeah, they expected Imprisoned Trick Room. We paralyzed their Armor Rouge. This move is so broken. What's up, y'all? Today I'm here with a Rain team that went 8-1 in the first day of competition at the Victory Road to Yokohama Grassroots Tournament. It was the largest tournament we've had thus far in Regulation D, featuring a lot of international players, as well as a $3,000 prize pool. So it was one of the most competitive sources of teams that we've seen so far. The team features Basculegion with Life Orb and Tera Water to do crazy amounts of damage with Wave Crash in the rain, and it also has Last Respects to deal damage into things that Wave Crash might not be hitting effectively into. It also has a Choice Specs Thundurus-T, which falls into a really nice speed tier. It just outspeeds Urshifu and can one-hit KO the water ones with a 100% accurate Wildbolt Storm in Rain, while also having a 20% chance to paralyze the partner that it hits. The Pelipper here has Helping Hand to boost the damage of Basculegion and Thundurus, and Amoonguss is on the team primarily to prevent Urshifu Surging Strikes from ripping through the team. Otherwise, especially with Rain up, that could get out of hand really quickly, even hitting into resisted hits. Fluttermane provides consistent fast damage for the team whenever you don't want to go with the Rain mode, and lastly, Goodra is there with the Shelter Body Press set to basically just overwhelm your opponent with defense and offense at the same time. I like the approach to the Goodra here a lot. Instead of focusing entirely on boosting your defenses with a Light Screen or a Reflect with something like Grimmsnarl, or allowing for setup through Fake Out with Iron Hands, you instead have Goodra come onto the field next to something really offensively threatening, like Basculegion or Thundurus-T, and this gives you the chance to get your defense boosts up while also not being passive at any time during that setup, which is a trap I think many Goodra-focused teams fall into, and this team does a really good job of keeping the foot on the gas while also setting up your defensive win con in the late game. With all that being said, let's get into the battles. Alright, so here we have a Fluttermane, Arcanine, Hisuian form, Urshifu, Rillaboom, Chien-Pao, and Tornadus. So unfortunately, the issue with the online ranked ladder, it's not best of 3, it's not open team sheet, and the Urshifu sprites are actually identical, but I think I'm going to assume it's going to be the Urshifu Rapid Strike here, just because we see the Arcanine and the Rillaboom right next to it. They're probably just completing their Fire Water Grass core there. But yeah, now to think about this. So I think we could make an argument to lead Pelipper just to match their Tailwind, but in doing that, we do lessen, we don't have Rain for as long. I think Amoonguss in the back could be effective after Tornadus is gone and maybe Chien-Pao. I don't love Goodra here because I'm not Tera Water and I'm not Shell Armor, so Urshifu could be pretty bad for me. So I think I'm going to lead Pelipper and probably Fluttermane I think is pretty safe because I could see Chien-Pao coming here. And I like Amoonguss in the back, and let's see. I'm gonna go with Basculegion. I was considering Thundurus-T, but I think the Chien-Pao could be kind of hard to keep a grip on. This might have been incorrect because I am a bit weak to their Rillaboom, which is a fairly likely bring. But yeah. This is one of the things I kind of questioned about the team is the Goodra being Sap Sipper, Tera Water. Usually I think Sap Sipper makes more sense on the Tera Water set, but yeah, not what they went for. And we see Pelipper into Tornadus and Arcanine. So there's definitely some danger of them just going for a head smash right away, which I'm a bit worried about. I wonder if I can delay my Tailwind though. They really might just go for a taunt, so I think I'll go for... I guess I am a little worried about Tornadus, and I do just want speed control. Yeah, I think I'll just go for Tailwind and Protect. Play it kind of safe here. See what they go for. And it looks like they're going to go for the Tera here. And it is into Arcanine, so Hydro Pump. Ooh, okay, interesting. Tera normal, so that's probably... I mean, that definitely indicates that they have extreme speed, but we'll see what else they go for this turn. And it's Tailwind and hopefully not Rock Slide. Head Smash, yeah. So we were spot on about that turn. They went for Tailwind and Head Smash. So unless they're Choice Scarf, we should be able to get a Dazzling Gleam off here. So I'm not too upset about that. I think it's definitely a dangerous spot. I wonder... I'm really tempted to go for this. I just don't know if it'll knock out, basically. I think I will. I'll just go for... Actually, I don't love this on the chance that they're going to go for Wildbolts. Yeah, I just don't think we knock them out is the issue. If we go for Dazzling Gleam, unless they're Assault Vest, I'm pretty sure this will knock their Hisuian Arcanine out. But I am also risking them being Choice Scarf, so kind of an inconsistent play here, but I just want to get this Arcanine off the field. Like, I don't really care about the Arcanine so much as I care about my Fluttermane staying another turn. Okay, and they go for Sunny Day. Interesting. Really interesting. I think that makes sense, though. Okay, and we do take the knockout there. So they went for Sunny Day, which means I believe... I know the signature move of the Genies get 100% accurate in rain. I don't know if they get less accurate in sun like Hurricane would. But yeah, I'm really happy about that. Mainly because this keeps their Urshifu from getting out of control. But yeah, I wouldn't mind getting... Okay, so the issue is I've now lost my Ghost, so if they want to, they can... My Pelipper is pretty much a helping hand bot on the field with Sun being up, so I think I'm going to switch it out. I don't love that they can fake out my Fluttermane at this point, but I really also need to be wary of Tailwind running out. Because we've now burned 3 turns of it after this turn ends, which means if they have Protect on their Tornadus, which I'm kind of doubtful of based off Sunny Day, could be an issue. Because then they can Protect and then set up Tailwind. Yeah, they go for Bleakwind Storm, which is going to do a lot to my Mungus. Unless they don't hit. Yeah, and there's the Wood Hammer double up. Yeah, reasonably likely it's... Sorry, I heard some stuff outside my room. Okay, so what do I want to go for here? The Rillaboom's kind of scary. I'm pretty sure they can't knock me out. Yeah, not knowing their item here is kind of rough. I think I will just go for Giga Drain. Yeah, I should have gone for Spore. But my thought was Dazzling Gleam should get them really not as low as I expected. Okay. And they go for another Bleakwind Storm. Fluttermane dodges, which is good. It means that... Oh, okay. No, that's super ideal. Maybe they were expecting a switch. But yeah, now I'm going to get a bit of a chunk on that Tornadus, boosted by Grassy Terrain, and heal a little bit. And they have their own Fluttermane. Okay. So we've gotten very lucky with the Bleakwind Storms, but I'll definitely take it given we don't know the items here. I think a Moonblast would have been able to knock out either of these based off that damage, but I just wasn't sure if they had Protect on Tornadus. I guess my play was definitely a mistake though, because given the move we've seen, they definitely can't have Taunt and Protect. So a bit of a misplay there. Now we just have to play this out slowly. They have burned their Tera, which means they should not be able to knock out my Yeah, let's preserve here. Let's go for Rage Powder on Amoonguss. Most likely they're just gonna outspeed us anyways, but so we went for Rage Powder and Moonblast instead of a Dazzling Gleam. I think this should knock out their Flutter Mane. With the booster energy, with the Tera, I think this is a knockout unless they're really bulky. And they go for Moonblast and it does knock us out. I didn't catch their booster. I'm gonna assume it's special attack. Or like, okay, yeah. If they're Life Orb, then this is definitely knocking out and I should have just Dazzling Gleamed. It would have knocked them both out, but yeah, not super familiar with all my rolls here, and especially on the Tornadus, the Rillaboom, the Arcanine, I had no idea what my damage was gonna look like, so it's good that I'm learning that here. So now they have their Tailwind up. And in comes Rillaboom, most likely, right? So I want to bring up Basculegion because I can go for Protect, but more so that I'm not bringing in... Okay. Bleakwind Storm has a chance to lower attack. It doesn't have a chance to confuse like Hurricane. So I think I should be pretty safe to just double attack here into the Tornadus. If they go for Wood Hammer, they'll knock... Well, let's think this through. One turn of Sun left. Tailwind. Just to be able to preserve... Protect... I think it's fine to double Protect here. Let me look at the terrain again. Grassy terrain. Yeah, let's stall that out. So I was debating on the double Protect here, basically because I don't think I'd lose anything by going for it, but I wanted to verify that there wasn't anything they could do to punish this. Like, it doesn't help me, but it doesn't hurt me. All it does is stall out one turn of their Tailwind and then one more turn of Grassy terrain, which could be valuable later on. But my thought here is they shouldn't be able to knock out both Pokemon as far as I'm aware, unless they Bleakwind Storm crits my Basculegion. I don't think even that would knock out. But with Sun going down, I think we can pretty safely go for... Ooh, they're healing a lot on their Rillaboom, their leftovers. Yeah, I think now we just go for a Last Respect into that and a Dazzling Gleam, and that should be fine. And I'm going into the Rillaboom instead of the Tornadus in case they have Protect, on the off chance they do. Then I don't want them protecting and then me somehow not getting a knockout this turn. And then, yeah. And then Pelipper coming on the field and them being able to go for Sunny Day. Ooh, Bleakwind Storm reduces speed. Why did I think it was attack? Maybe that's a Namorus's Spring Tide Storm or something like that. But yeah. We do end up just leading Flutter Mane and then hitting fairy moves for a bunch of turns in a row. So really reminiscent of Series 2 and Series 3. But yeah, keeping it up. But that kind of just shows the importance of knowing your old calcs, kind of being able to estimate how much damage you're going to be doing with your Pokemon into the new Pokemon. I think there was definitely room for improvement in that game, though. Just I was really unsure of a lot of how the damage was going to roll out on Flutter Mane. So yeah, one of the priorities for myself and definitely a lot of newer players is figuring out just how bulky these new Pokemon are, so you can be able to quickly figure out items and just generally the bulk investment that they have. Because I genuinely don't know if that Arcanine, that could have been Assault Vest, that could have been Choice Banded. I have no clue if Moonblast just clears it naturally or if they have to be just no investment on HP. Okay, and we have a Dragonite, Cresselia, Chi-Yu, Grimmsnarl, Goodra, and Flutter Mane. So my first thought is they don't have a ton for my own Goodra. I don't think. If I go for the Tera Fairy, in rain, there's not a whole lot they can do, because I can heavy slam their Fluttermane, I can heavy slam their Grimmsnarl, I might even be able to lead Goodra, honestly. But that will kind of tip my hand and tell them what I'm going for, so Goodra might be a little better than back. I think I could make an argument for Thundurus here pretty easily. What's my coverage move? It is Tera Blast. Okay. Maybe not. Their Fluttermane's a little threatening. I think I like Pelipper, Basculegion as my lead, and Amoonguss in the back. The only question is what I go for. And I think I like Goodra. I think I like Goodra a lot here. Because if I'm leading so offensively, they might not suspect, or they might have to burn their defensive Teras to handle the onslaughted Basculegion, which is going to let my Hisuian Goodra go for shelters and basically get around their... Basically, if I have my Tera left and they don't on their Goodra, then I can go for my Tera into Tera Water, okay. But they lead Goodra right away, which is not ideal for me. Not ideal at all. Not ideal. Okay. Because they resist pretty easily my attack. So I'm going to go for Wave Crash into Grimmsnarl, and not having Clear Smog's pretty bad, honestly. I think I might just go into my own Goodra and get after it. I'm expecting this to knock out their Grimmsnarl, possibly even through Reflect, but maybe not. But they are pretty much unkillable now. Ooh, that's not good. And we take a ton of damage too, and they get their shelter off. So we're in a precarious spot where we more or less have to... We don't have to do anything. I think I will just... The danger here is I can Wave Crash the Goodra or the Grimmsnarl, pretty confidently knock that out outside of... No, they don't really have a switch in for that. And I can go for Tera and then go for the Fairy. The danger of that is, of course, if they go for Taunt. If I go for Protect, they could Shelter. If I go for Shelter, yeah. I think I will just kind of get aggressive about it. I'm pressuring more offense to them. I think because they got the Reflect up and the Shelter, they're more confident just going for a Shelter of their own, potentially. So I'm going to commit here to my own Tera Fairy Goodra and try and beat their Goodra 1v1 with that. Because if they're Sap Sipper, I don't really have any other way to do it. And they are going for Tera of their own, which is interesting. I don't think they were under a lot of threat there. But yeah, we're both Tera Fairy. I think this is better. This is definitely better for me because now my Pelipper can hit it for neutral damage. Oh, and they go for Parting Shot into my Basculegion. So protecting their own Grimmsnarl, but taking some damage on the switch in for whatever comes in. Cresselia, okay. That's totally fine. All right, we do non-zero chip, and we are the faster Goodra. That's good to know. I mean, now we've outsped them on potential speed ties 2 turns in a row, and they do go for Shelter. So we've outspeed them twice, which is relevant. Ooh, you know what could be scary? Is if they go for something like a Psych Up. That could be pretty spooky. Like if they're Calm Mind Psych Up, that'd be really scary. But yeah, I would really, really wish that I was Clear Smog Amoonguss right now. That'd be super valuable. Oh, they go for Psychic into that slot. That was really, really good from them. Because I could have just gone after the Cresselia with like another Wave Crash, but it would have knocked me out, so. Or it would have gotten very close, yeah. And now they're +6 with Shelter, which is fine. They're not really doing much with Heavy Slam to us. But I'm kind of relying... boy, okay. So Goodra is pretty scary here. As is Cresselia. Only because it hit me on switch in. So that was a pretty bad play on my part. I should have just played a bit more patient. I think I will go for a Spore. Only because I don't feel like I have a much better play. I'm going to get my last Shelter up. And I go for Psychic. If I was Citrus Berry, I might be able to live a Body Press or a Heavy Slam on Mungus, but unfortunately no, we'll most likely be taking one of those here. Yeah, there's the Body Press. So I maybe could have switched in the Basculegion there. I think I like Basculegion coming in instead of Pelipper. I want to preserve my Pelipper for the Goodra late game. Late game being pretty close to now. I think Body Press would probably do more damage to the Cresselia than Heavy Slam would at this point. So I'm going to go for that. Chip it down a bit, potentially stall out their last turn at Reflect. I expect them to be Light Clay on their Grimmsnarl, but that didn't do a lot. We have taken a turn of... Ooh, there's Trick Room. That's dangerous for sure. Rain stops. And Reflect stays on the field. Okay. Not good. Not good at all. I think if I can knock out this Cresselia, though, I could be fine. This is something I should know, but I do not, is whether Heavy Slam or Body Press does more damage. I am going to try Heavy Slam. Yeah, Body Press is doing nothing, so... yeah, Body Press is doing more. Okay. They go for Lunar Blessing, so they're healing. That's an interesting play to not target my Basculegion. Because now I'm getting a pretty hefty Last Respects off. 100 base power, Life Orb, yeah. So now we knock out the Cresselia next turn. Yeah, I really think they should have targeted my Basculegion there. That was a big risk. And... I doubt Aqua Jet knocks out, but, like, it could. I do think we're pretty safe to go for Protect, just to stall out another turn of Trick Room, and then I think I'll Body Press the Cresselia. They could switch into Flutter Mane, I suppose, so Heavy Slam could be a little safer, but I think that'd be a pretty bad tempo play for them, switching out their Cresselia in Trick Room. Especially, like, on the off chance I don't target Cresselia here and they get a Lunar Blessing off, that's pretty valuable for them, but yeah. They do have their Goodra set up pretty nicely, but Basculegion I think is heavy enough that Heavy Slam isn't doing that much, and the Ghost immunity to Body Press makes it really good here. So they kind of set up Trick Room, but it hasn't served to their benefit as much as like a Psychic into my Basculegion would. So despite how bad this early game felt like it went, we're back in it on some level. Let's think. Another turn of Trick Room. I kind of want to double protect here. Like, I'm pretty sure Body Press will knock out their Grim Snarl. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to double protect and then knock out their Grim. Yeah, we don't get it, but we see Spirit Break. Yeah, I think we were right to go for the play we did. Yeah, because if we do get that off, then Heavy Slam. Yeah, Heavy Slam's doing nothing. We weigh the same. I don't know how much base power that amounts to, but even with a crit, they'll do probably 50, a little less than 50%, but they'd have to get a couple in a row. We never found out if they're Sap Sipper, but yeah, they were able to get Reflect up. They were able to get +6 defense, but now Reflect is down. We're both at +6, and I feel like our Goodra's been doing a bit more work than them, or at least it's been doing it quicker, even into the resisted Cresselia, because they let us get that last Respects off with our partner. And this is kind of like I was speaking on in the intro, is that a lot of the Goodra teams, yeah, they get the screen up, they get their Goodra set up, but they don't have a lot in the way of offense to do much after that. And as I speak of that, their Flutter Mane comes out. So let's see what they have for me. They are Booster Energy, and it's Booster Energy Special Attack. Okay. So we do have a pretty free knockout into that. Unfortunately, they are going to be able to protect here, but I can get a Hurricane off into their Goodra, and they don't have healing of their own, I don't think. Like, I didn't see a leftover on their Goodra. They had to heal with Lunar Blessing. They might have Life Dew, but I think leftovers will beat them in the end. So let's see how this plays out. I think most likely they just protect, but unless I crit on Heavy Slam or their Goodra, as we saw how much theirs did to us, it's like 10 HP. It's just really not worth the risk of them not having protect. Like, they could be Trick Room in prison. Yeah, they're not. They go for protect, but no reason to needlessly make a read when we can. Okay, they did not know they had Shelter up. They hadn't maxed out their defense yet, or they timed out. But we get a big Hurricane off. Yeah, that's a lot of damage, and a Confusion, which in a stally late game could be really valuable. All right, now we know they're not Focus Sash, so a Heavy Slam should knock out. Flutter Mane can't learn Disable. They could go for Substitute, but yeah, I think Heavy Slam, Hurricane's just safer, right? They could go for Hydro Pump. Their Power Gem Booster Energy. I usually only see that on specs, so that's interesting. But that is going to bring us to our Focus Sash, definitely getting the most value out of that item. Hurricane does a ton, again. And now the question is, do they hit through their Confusion and correctly target into Pelipper? If neither of those is the case, I think we should just clean this up with Hurricane. But they do Body Press. Okay. I'm going to run a quick calc. They do get the crit. Probably not well timed for them. They would have liked that on my guy. I'm just gonna measure up. I'm pretty sure if we're both Fairy Tera, Heavy Slam is doing more than Body Press. +6, +6. Fairy. Actually, Body Press does more, because Heavy Slam is 40 base power. Interesting. The more you know. And they cancel. They most likely didn't have a healing move in that case. I don't know if they ever protected on Goodra, but they probably just saw, yeah, okay. no shot I can win this out, especially because they didn't ever see that I was Sap Sipper. If I had been the shell armor where I don't get crit, there was no chance for them to win, but they didn't play it out, understandably. We aren't super high ladder. Those points don't matter too much, probably not nearly as much as Yono's time there. All right, next game is into a Trick Room team. I think we featured early on in this in these ranked battle sessions. We had I think this is Len VGC's Trick Room team. It has all the same Pokemon for sure. It has the Indeedee, Armarouge, Ursaluna, Torkoal, Hatterene, and Lilligant Hisuian form. So we have Rain versus Sun here, which is pretty annoying actually, because we don't have Wide Guard. So we don't have a ton of ways to quickly answer that. No dark types to resist Expanding Force. We might actually be, let me see. We're Steel type. Our answer might be Amoonguss, honestly. But we have to be very, very careful with our Amoonguss if we want to do that. I'm going to go Thundurus, Fluttermane, Pelipper, and Goodra I don't see being very valuable. Basculegion having Protect, there's definitely an argument for that. But I think I will go for Amoonguss. Just because if I have it in Sun, or if I have it in Rain, and I go for the Tera Steel, they don't have a lot of ways they can do much damage to me with their Armarouge, Torkoal. I mean, they'll still do a lot with the Sun boosted, with the fire moves in Rain, but they won't be taking a knockout, and I'll be able to get a Spore off. So I think this is kind of a tricky matchup for this team. Yeah, they lead straight away with Indeedee, Armarouge, and from what I remember, I think this isn't Wide Guard, but they're probably worried about me going for something like a Imprison Trick Room or something, which I would love to have right now, believe me, but it's got to be on their mind. So I kind of think Wildbolt Storm might be my best play here. Not sure though. Yeah, this is a tough spot. Okay, so they did. Ooh. If this doesn't knock out, I'm in trouble. Okay. Okay, yeah, they expected Imprison Trick Room. We paralyzed their Armarouge. Armarouge couldn't move because it's paralyzed. This move is so broken. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, what do they do now? What do they even do? Yeah, no, I think we kind of just clean it up with... Yeah. Yeah. See, the thing is, if we hadn't had such a passive back Pokemon, we might have been fine even if that does go off and they take the double knockout, but because we had Pelipper Amoonguss, we would have been toast, I think. But yeah, really unlucky start for them. I both double hit the Wildbolt Storm and also paralyze into full para their Armarouge, that's 0.8 times 0.2 times 0.25. Not very good odds for me there. Wow, that was crazy. But But yeah, that kind of just shows the strength of those moves. Like 80% is not as accurate as you don't want to be relying on that. But when you have a 20% chance to get paralysis and hit for that much damage on both Pokemon, even out of rain, it's just really tempting. But now we have a Tailwind team. I believe this is the team that Wolf Click got top 16, top 16 at the Victory Road Challenge last weekend. So a really strong team. Let's see what we can do about it. So against Tailwind, I'm pretty tempted to go with Amoonguss and Thundurus, honestly. Definitely tempting. I could also lead Pelipper Basculegion. That's definitely a strong lead, I think. I think I need Amoonguss on some level to be able to handle their Urshifu. So I think what I'll go with is Pelipper, Basculegion, Thundurus, and Amoonguss. So all my rain Pokemon, basically. And yeah, I think the name of the game here is going to be trying to prevent their Urshifu from going off on the rest of my team. And that's going to be a pretty tall ask for Amoonguss alone. If I can stall out Tailwind turns, Thundurus should be able to handle their Urshifu. But otherwise, it's going to be a pretty big challenge. Okay, and it's Chien-Pao, Chien-Pao and Young Iron Hands. So I think this is pretty okay for me. I think I can freely switch Protect, and they have to double into my Pelipper to punish this. And if they do, it'll be a roll on if they knock out my Amoonguss, but I will break their Focus Sash if they're not Ice Skull Crash, which a lot of Chien-Pao actually have been running to avoid taking the contact damage from Rocky Helmet. But yeah, I think we're in a pretty solid spot here. This sort of will force them to go for a Grass Tera on their Iron Hands, I think. They do Fake Out, does a lot. Sucker Punch, okay, fair enough. So they do have a pretty safe Tera Grass on their Iron Hands, which is I'm kind of susceptible to. Like I'm very susceptible to. I could have gone for Tera Water, Wave Crash into Iron Hands that turn and knock them out pretty safely, but I didn't go for that. So definitely a bit of an issue. I think they probably would knock me out, so. Yeah, this was a bad play, actually. Okay. Yeah, there's Tera Grass on Iron Hands. Hopefully it didn't process my Tera Steel. It did. Yep, so I was thinking, oh shoot, oh shoot, oh shoot, what if they don't protect Chien-Pao? Then I'm kind of hosed because they'll take a double knockout this turn with Ice Spinner and Wild Charge. But they do wisely protect to prevent any Spore or any sort of shenanigans there. We do get the Wave Crash off, at least we get an attack. That's very good, actually. It's very, very good. They do Wild Charge, which is going to put them really low. Basculegion has a good HP stat, so they're taking a lot of damage there. So this ends up being probably the play I should have made, no matter what. Now I'm pretty... Let's think this through. We send in our Thundurus. They've burned their Protect. Wildbolt Storm probably knocks them out. far as back Pokemon, they could have Torn, they could have Dragonite. I think what we might want to do is preserve our Amoonguss. Yeah, what we have to do, I think, is hope that Sacred Sword doesn't knock out, which I don't think it does. They're going to switch into their great friend, and it is Fluttermane. So they're playing pretty hot and loose with a potential para here, because I do have a 100% chance to hit, 20% chance to para. We go for Rage Powder. We'll see what they go for. And it's going to be the Sacred Sword, which doesn't knock out because we're very defensive, and a Wildbolt Storm is going to clear out this pitiful Qianpao special defense stat. Yep. And we do over 50% to Fluttermane, and fingers crossed we get a para. No dice. Okay. So they can just go for a Fake Out into Thundurus. Yeah, Pelipper in the back isn't very useful for me. If I could get Tailwind up, it wouldn't be bad, but I think they can pretty safely go for Dazzling Gleam, Fake Out, and I can't do a ton about it, because that should knock me out. Yeah, I'm not sure how to play out of that. I think I just got into a bad spot that turn one by not going for Tera Water. You do just have to play a bit more offensive against these teams. Yeah, they go for Fake Out. It does 40. The Substitute is not what I expected at all. Okay. Sub is pretty interesting. They have burned their Tera. And now I should get a free Hurricane if I want it. I think a Moonblast is going to knock out my Thundurus based off their booster energy. But what I think I'm going to go for is actually Tailwind and go into Amoonguss here. It's a little offbeat, but I think they've left me an opening by going for Sub instead of Moonblast there. Ooh, they're Dazzling Gleam. Okay. So I don't mind this, especially if... Oh no, this is kind of bad. It's pretty dependent on what they have in the back. Yeah, I should have gone for Wildbolt Storm. I thought they'd be a Moonblast. Yeah, that was a misplay. If I lived, then that was a misplay, but now they will just get Fake Out. Yeah, they have Extreme Speed on the board, so I think I'm going to lose this. Yeah, this was kind of really... Yeah, they played this well. They played this super well. The Sub Flutter threw me, but I think if they had Moonblast, they would have won anyways. But at the end of the day, I think we'll just go for... We'll go for Wildbolt Storm and Pollen Puff ourselves, but yeah, Extreme Speed is going to knock us out, and they should clear us with a Shadow Ball or a Dazzling Gleam here, and that'll be it. So really well played to them. As soon as I Terra'd my Amoonguss, it got pretty hard to deal with their Iron Hands, and I just didn't have the support that my Thundurus needed to be able to handle both the Dragonite and the Fluttermane. If I'd gotten Tailwind up, I think I probably would have been good. But yeah, I think that game one, or that turn one, I definitely had to get a bit more offensive and go for Wave Crash instead of switching around, trying to get cute with Rocky Helmet damage. But then again, as soon as I Wave Crash, I'm pretty susceptible to their Dragonite's extreme speed, so I don't know. I might have been in just a really solid lock from a solid team. Weather always kind of struggles with these teams with really good priority and bulk, just because you don't get your one-hit knockout, so your basically your speed advantage is doubly negated because you're not getting your knockouts by moving first against their bulk. And second, sometimes they get to move first and take advantage of your lack of bulk with their really good priority moves. But moving into the last battle, we have Thundurus, Chi-Yu, Annihilate, Urshifu, Fluttermane, and Qianpao. Okay. So, Thundurus have been known to carry Sunny Day when paired next to fire types, as do some Tornadus, so we do have to be wary of that. Maybe have Rain in the late game. Yeah, I think they could actually fare very, very well with Chi-Yu. Thundurus if they have Sun. So I think I'll actually go with our own Thundurus, given that we can outspeed that, and Volt Switch into our Pelipper and shut down that turn. So what else do we have to worry about? This lead is pretty weak to Qianpao, for sure. And yeah, I think Basculegion doesn't do much better, but it's something. I don't think Amoonguss is that good against their team. But it might have been the correct choice here, just to redirect one hit from Qianpao and then let it be knocked out by Rocky Helmet plus whatever else I throw at it. But yeah, this is a really fine edge hyper offense team where last battle we played one turn where we could have just taken a surprise knockout probably, and because we didn't, we gave them we tipped our hand to them and they saw, okay, Grass Iron Hands at this point is going to look pretty good, and they took it from there. We see Thundurus and Chi-Yu. No surprise there. So unless they're Choice Scarf, we are max speed Thundurus, so we should be safe to go for Volt Switch. And just got to think carefully about the targeting. Volt Switch is going to do a whole lot with their Beads of Ruin on the field. And if I can knock out their Thundurus this turn with the double up. Ooh, okay. The Eerie Impulse. Fair play. Dazzling Gleam probably better to break a potential Focus Sash, but oh my goodness, that did a lot of damage. Dazzling Gleam was definitely better there. Volt Switch would have killed this Thundurus. But we're probably going to take a big Heat Wave here. So we're going to switch into Pelipper. Minimize that damage best we can. And if they go for Dark Pulse, that's not the worst thing. Okay, yeah, they go for Heat Wave, and Pelipper avoids, meaningfully keeping our Focus Sash, and Fluttermane lives on a little more than half. And in comes Annihilate. I don't want to hit that just yet. I kind of want to... Fluttermane's not that valuable, honestly. Let me revise that. Given they could have a Qianpao, Fast Fluttermane, or Aqua Jet Urshifu in the back, Fluttermane isn't actually providing much value at all. Okay. What I want to do here is Shadow Ball you and Hydro Pump. Ooh, maybe should have been Hurricane. Yeah, should have been Hurricane, but regardless. Okay, they do protect. If we hit this Hydro Pump, I'm definitely okay with that, though. So Annihilate protects, and we hit the Hydro Pump. That's gonna bring Chien-Pao down way past its sash. Blew up the sash that wasn't there. So yeah, kind of a questionable switch from them. Although that kind of suggests to me that they might be Choice Specs. I don't really see why they would switch out their Chi-Yu in that spot when it's most likely a Fairy or a Water move coming into that Chien-Pao, either of which knocks out. Let's be mindful of our rain turns though, so that we're not going for late game inaccurate moves. Yeah, the problem is I don't have a lot of bulk on the field. Fortunately, it probably doesn't matter. As long as I don't give this Annihilate a boost, I should be okay. I'm gonna go for Tailwind here. I don't think it's much better than like a Hurricane into the Chi-Yu, but I figured, hey, you know, on the off chance there's something really weird, or like on the off chance rain ends, I want my Basculegion to be able to outspeed their Chi-Yu. But yeah, they go for Rage Fist. They haven't Terra'd yet. Interestingly enough, they didn't Terra in front of my Fluttermane. But their damage is pretty minuscule now. Like Rage Fist is not, like it's gonna 2-hit KO my Basculegion, but it's not doing too much into my other guy. I think I like Aqua Jet, Hurricane into you, just so that I don't waste any recoil damage. I think this Chi-Yu is Specs, so Aqua Jet will be more than enough to knock out if they don't Tera, and if they do, I bet even Tera Water might fold to the Aqua Jet plus Hurricane, but I guess that is one gap that I didn't account for. Ooh, yeah. A little dicey. Kind of. I think we're still fine. Yeah, Aqua Jet does a lot. Hurricane probably seals it up. Yeah. So, good double up there from us, preventing even a resisted Tera from ruining that. I don't think there's anything that would have resisted water and flying, so yeah, overall very safe play, and now we have a safe last respects Hurricane into their Annihilate, and I don't really think we can lose. One more turn of rain. I will just go for Wave Crash, which does more. 120 times 1.5 is 180 times another 1.5 is 270. Last respects, 100 times 1.5, 150 times 2, 300. Womp womp, and I'll switch just to preserve our rain in the back potentially. But yeah, they just cancel their battle, understanding that's a pretty lost cause. Next we have Tornadus, Ursaluna, Goodra, Moltres, Grimmsnarl, and Urshifu. So a bunch of potential setup Pokemon. Moltres with Nasty Plot, Goodra with Shelter, and I guess Protect Guts Facade counts as setup on the Ursaluna. So I think we'll go an interesting route here. I'm going to lead Pelipper and Thundurus, which threatens a really big Wildbolt Storm right from the start. I'm leaving Basculegion on the bench in favor of Amoonguss and Fluttermane, which I think will probably do well into most of their team. I guess the big concern is the Moltres, if it has like a Poison Tera or something, or any Tera that resists Fairy conserved. But given that I'm leading with my Thundurus, I think I'm pretty much forcing them to reveal that pretty early. Just because nothing on their team resists Electric except for the Ursaluna, which is going to have to take a Hydro Pump if it wants to stay in. So, yep, and we see Tornadus plus Moltres, which is exactly... Not exact. Oh wow, Moltres looks really good in this game. Like the flame feathers look pretty cool, but they should be on fire. We won't pay that any mind. So the thought here is Wildbolt Storm almost certainly knocks out their Torn. But if they're Taunt Focus Sash, that'd be unfortunate. I think I do just like matching Tailwind here. Even if they Taunt, unless they're Focus Sash, I do just knock them out. They have to Tera one of these if they want to attack with both, otherwise it'll get knocked out. So we're going to see the Moltres go for it. Fair enough. And it is the Poison Tera, as we kind of expected. So that's fine, it's good we're getting this out of the way now. They do go for Tailwind, so they'll attack first. Hopefully Fiery Wrath does not flinch me. 20% chance, baby! Wildbolt Storm hits the Torn, knocks it out, does less than 50% to the Moltres, like perfect amount of damage. And if we get this Tailwind up, come on. Okay, alright. So that turn worked about as good as we could have expected. Especially, oh yeah, okay. Who do you have in the back? Goodra? That ain't it, Chief. Yeah, so now we just really see the value of this Pelipper. I'm able to sit in here. I had my 100% accurate Wildbolt Storm. The only variance that was introduced there was if they had knocked me out, or if they had gotten like a double flinch there, that could have been annoying, but yeah. Yeah, we do a ton of with Wildbolt Storm to their Goodra, and it was a roll to knock them out this turn with Wildbolt Storm. If we hadn't Helping Handed with it, it just completely knocks it out. And we didn't have to worry about... yeah, so they're going for a pretty cool strategy. Life Dew with the Berserk can potentially give you multiple Berserk boosts if you keep attacking the Moltres while it keeps healing. It goes under 50%, gets the special attack boost. You heal it up with a happy little... Okay. So, now the question is, how cute do we want to get? Is there a level of cute that can lose this game? I would say probably not. So let's get cute. No, let's just Wildbolt Storm. Now we're getting cute. They can Aqua Jet my Thundurus, probably knock it out, but if they do, they're breaking their Focus Sash and then getting knocked out by Hurricane. Ooh. That's not what you wanted to see, guy. That's really not what you wanted to see. So getting cute works for us. I would expect a disconnect or a forfeit next turn. That's certainly how the Surgic Strikes into Rocky Helmet always feels on the Amoonguss switch-in. And yeah. Probably going to be pretty close to a 4-0 on this last battle. Yeah, they're going to try it. They're going to try it. Yeah, I think now I just Rage Powder switched to Fluttermane. Everything worked out kind of exactly how we wanted it to. Yeah, and they just cancel. Spirit Broken after that Surging Strikes into Amoonguss. Hope you guys enjoyed the battles today. Paste and Rental are in the description as always. If you enjoy the videos, please subscribe and peace.